Hi, welcome to Hoop-de-Doo. Today we're going to learn a trick that I call the twin isolation. And I've had a lot of requests for a tutorial on this. So it's a lot of fun, but it's also a little bit difficult because the hand position is kind of awkward. More than kind of awkward. So first, you want to know how to do an isolation with one hoop. Okay, and generally on an isolation, you do the hand position is your whole hand, and your thumb really has a lot to do with the isolation. What you're going to want to learn how to do with one hoop isolation is how to do it with just 4 fingers and your thumb out away from the other 4 fingers like that. Okay, so you've got to be able to do an isolation with one hoop with 4 fingers and without using your thumb. So your thumb is going to be out here because the thumb right here in this part of your hand, that's where the second hoop is going to ride, right there. And your thumb is going to hold it secure. Okay, so that's the reason why you need to do the single hoop isolation with 4 fingers. So practice that. Practice just doing it with 4 fingers. It's a little bit awkward, a little bit different, but you get used to it. And just try doing that. Then when you're comfortable with that, the isolation, the twin isolation, there are a couple different ways to get into it. One is to start with both hoops in one hand. I do my twin hoop isolation clockwise from me looking at the hoop. Okay? So I started in that direction, and I take my hand, palm down, right hand, and grab the 2 hoops, and I just pretend like I'm going to do just a regular isolation with these 2 hoops. Okay? So I start it up, and as you'll notice when you start it, one hoop, the hoop closest to you, when you feel it going all away from the other hoop and doing its own thing, then at that point you want to let that hoop rest on your thumb and do your isolation with your 4 fingers. It's going to be on the hoop that's outside, furthest away from your body. And the other hoop that is riding on your hand is going to be the one that's closest to your body. So your hand position on this is, you've got the outside hoop, the purple hoop, the 4 fingers grabbing it, and then you have the thumb is holding the other hoop. The other hoop is right inside, and your thumb is going to be holding that hoop, and it's just going to ride around the other hoop as you're doing the isolation. Okay, so it goes around. Now the problem comes when you get to the top, and on an isolation, so that you don't break your wrist, your hand position at the top has to change. So what happens, as you all know if you know the isolation, is your hand is in this position, and then the hoop rolls over it and back to that position again. So you can see that closer. So your hand position from the bottom coming up is like this, and you can't keep going, so your hand has to change position and back to the original position. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. Now, when you've got the second rider hoop on your thumb, and you're going to do that, changing that hand position, you're going to have to let go. Let's see here. You're going to have to let go with the thumb and let both hoops spin around that hand. Okay, so it's going to go. You've got your thumb here that's holding the second hoop, and your 4 fingers, if you can see that, Okay, your thumb holding the red hoop, your forefingers holding the purple hoop, and when your hand is going to do its roll, then you have to let go with your thumb of everybody, both hoops. And then when you come back to it, then immediately your thumb grabs that other hoop, okay? And then you come back down with it so that you're back in the position, okay? So that's the problem area. And basically what you want to do is just let go with your hand, with your thumb, and that hoop for the second or two that it's not grabbing, the momentum of the hoop will keep it there. Okay? And you want to have, when you're doing the isolation on the one hoop, you want to focus on keeping the outside hoop as still as possible so it looks more like the hoop is going around. And the more you move your arm around the hoop, the easier it is. Okay? So the secret is all in how to hold that hoop. How to hold the hoop with the thumb. The hoop towards you, the red hoop that's closest to your body, is going to ride right there between your thumb and your first finger. Okay? So that is the key to holding it. If you're trying to hold this second hoop, the rider hoop as I call it, on your wrist, then you'll find that it'll keep coming up and hitting you in the head, and then you get frustrated. So I think that the secret for me is the thumb, and that gives you more security in how to do it. Okay, so another thing to remember, there is another way to start this trick. If you know how to do the twin isolation like this, or if you don't, you can hold both hoops and your thumbs are pointing towards each other, okay? And what you can do is, I think this is the easiest way for me to get into the twin isolation, is to take your right hand and leave the left hand stable, just stationary with that hoop. And you're going to bring the right hand down and around and grab the other hoop. And try not to hit yourself in the head. Okay. And you're just going to bring that hoop down and you're going to grab the other one. So if you can see that, going to this red hoop, the right hoop, is going to come down and it's going to go across that. It's really hard to do in slow motion, but if you're going to grab it, you're going to bring it down. Okay, you're going to bring it down, and then your hand is going to land on it. Okay, so those are two different ways you can do it with. If you know how to do the twin isolation, if you want a tutorial on this, I can do a tutorial on that. But I think it's easiest to come into it that way. Or you can do the two hoops together and start your isolation that way. So you've got the two hoops, and when the one closest to you separates, then you just grab onto it with your thumb, that one that's separated. And it's a real loose, it's not a real tight grip on the thumb and the fingers. It's really loose so that they have their freedom to stay in the plane that you want them to be in. Okay? So good luck with this one. If you have any questions or comments, or if you have a video of you doing it and you want me to help you troubleshoot, I would be more than happy to do that. Okay, so happy hooping and good luck. Thank you.